Hello everyone. I welcome you all to Startup Academy, your online gateway to get success in ISS exam. This academy is exclusively for ISS only. Since we have been covering the topic index number, we have completed the types of index number and the test on index number, which is unit test, time reversal test, factor reversal test, and circular test. Today we'll move forward with the next topic, which is chain index. Now, before starting chain index, I want you to know what is fixed base index. Fixed base index, as the name suggests, are the index number that has fixed base. Suppose we have to find out something. Suppose I have to find out an index number with base 0, base year 0, and current year 1. Or instead of 0 and 1, we can write base year 2020 and current year 2024. So I'm taking the base year as 2020 and current year as 2024. If I have to construct another index number with the same base year 2020 and the current year is 2030. So this is the base year and this is the current year. If I have to take another index number with the base year 2020 and the current year 2050. So this is the base year and this is the current year. So as we can see in these three index number, the base year is same, but the current year is changing. First it is 2024, second it is 2030, and third it is 2050. So these index numbers are known as fixed base index numbers, where the base year is fixed. But since as we move forward and forward with more year gap between the base year and the current year, our findings become more inaccurate because the time gap between them increases. That's where the chain index come into play. The chain index takes the index number of the base year as the previous year only, not having gap more than 1 year. So the chain index numbers, if I may write it, the chain index number of, okay, let us take on another page. So the chain index number for one and the chain indices for more than one. So the chain indices can be written as, if I have to take I01, then it is the original, or we can say it is fixed. If I have to take I02, then first I have to take I01 and then I'll multiply it with I12. So these are the chain index number where the year gap is 1 only. If I have to take I02, then I can write it as I01 into I12 into I2. Sorry, this was I02 and this is 03 into I23. And since these are nothing but I02 only, so I can write it as I02 into I23. And following this pattern, if we have to find the index number of kth year, then we can write it as I02 k minus 1, with k minus 1 is the current year, and I k minus 1 to k. So this is how we find the chain index number. Now these can be very useful for calculating the link relative as well. Now what are link relatives? Link relatives, link relative of an year can be represented as, or let us say, let us write the steps in the construction of chain indices. How are chain indices constructed? Steps in the construction of chain indices. Now, if we take the first step, then the first step is to calculate the link relative. Now, how is link relative calculated? Link relative is current months or current time periods, or let us write month only. Current months or years, whatever the time period is, value upon previous months or years value into 100. So it is the percentage of the current months or years value to the previous months or years value. Then the second step would be the calculation of chain relative, which is represented by CR. Chain relative can be written as current months, or let us write years only, current years link relative into previous years chain relative upon 100. And since we don't know the first chain relative, if we are starting from the very first value, then we can take the previous year chain relative as 100. Consider previous year's CR for first value to be equal to 100. We'll take that. And again, the previous year's value also for link relative. Previous year's value is equals to 100. So these are the two considerations that we note. So these are the very two basic formulas, and they are very useful and have been asked multiple number of times in the PYQs. So one such example we'll do in today's class. Let us take an example where we have been provided with a data. So we have been provided with the data where we have been given commodity. Commodity is any thing that we are talking about, and we have been provided with years from 2001 till 2005, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005. And there are four commodities: A, B, C, and D. And we have been given the values as 20, 30, 20, 30, 40, 20, 70. 30, 40, 50, 60, 120, 70, 90, 200, 180, 40, 80, 110. I'm leaving space just because we are about to find the answer here only. 30, 160 and 220. So this is the data that have been given to us, and they have told us to compute the chain base index number. Now since we have been given the values already, so first of all we'll calculate the link relative. For chain base we have to find out the link relative. If I talk about this link relative, this is previous month's value upon current month's value upon previous month's value into 100. But the previous month's value is not given, so we will take it as 100 only. This will be considered as 100. Now this is current year's value, which is 30, previous year's value, which is 20, into 100, which will give us nothing but 150. We can write it with another pen. Let us take pink. 150. Okay. And here again 40 upon previous month's value was 30 into 100. So it will give us nothing but 133. We'll not take those values after points. So it will be 133. And if we take it as 20 upon 40 into 100, we will get what? We will get equal to 50. And if we take 70 upon 20 into 100, we will get what? We will get 210. Likewise, we can calculate for second year. Second year also it will be 100 for the first year because we don't have the previous year's value. And for this it will be 60 upon 30 into 100, which will give us 60 upon 30 into 100, which will give us 200. Okay, and 90 upon 60 and rest of all I'm writing them down. 150, 64, 75. This is 44, this is 75. And it will again be 100, and this also will be equal to 100. 120 upon 40 would be equal to 300. 120 upon 40 into 100. 200 upon 120 upon 100 will be 167. 80 upon 200 would be 2520. It will be 40, I guess so. Yes. And this again will be 200. 160 upon 80 into 100. Now 70 upon 50 into 100 will be equal to 140. 180 upon 70 into 100 will be equal to 257. 110 upon 180 will be 61. and 220 upon 110 will be 200 into 100 we are considering. So we have found out all the values that was needed for the link relative. This is the link relative table now it has become. Now here we'll find out the total of all link relative. Total of link relative. This will be nothing but equal to 400. This will be 500 plus 150, 650 plus 140, 790. This will be 707. This will be 195. And this will be 46685. Oh, we have done one mistake here. It will not be 210. It will be 350. Because when we divide it by, it will be 5 and 5 sevens are 35. So we will, here the answer would be 825. You can check it for yourself. And now we'll calculate the average of link relative. We can directly do it by link relative as well. Chain relative, we can find it by link relative as well, but we can use averages as well. So this would be 100. This is divided by 4 will give us 197.5. This will be 176.8. Now the other will be 48.8 and this will be 206.75, I guess. 2, 3. Okay. So this is our average of LR. Now here we will find out the chain relative. You know that the formula of chain relative is uh, previous year's link relative upon previous year's link relative, sorry, current year's link relative and previous year's chain relative upon 100. So we don't have previous year chain relative, so we will consider this as 100 only. First, for every link relative and for every chain relative, we have to the first link relative and chain relative we have to consider is equal to 100. Okay. Now for this one, this is current year's link relative, which is 197.5 into previous year's chain relative, which is 100 here from here upon 100. So we get the answer as 197.5. Now this again 176.8 current year's link relative into previous year chain relative, it is 197.5 upon 100. So we'll get our answer as 349.2. This again current year's chain relative link relative into previous year's chain relative, 349.2 upon 100, and this will be equal to 170.4, and this is equals to current year's chain relative into previous year link relative, 170.4 upon 100, and we get our answer as 351.5, and hence we get our chain relatives of all the years for all the communities. For first it is 100, for second it is 197.5, third is it is 349.2, fourth it is 170.4, and fifth it is 351.5. So this was the question of your link relative and chain relative. Now one more thing we have to consider. So let us take difference between chain relative and fixed base index. Chain index and fixed base index. We have to consider this table. So the first difference would be it is more accurate when time period increases, and here it becomes more inaccurate when time period increases. Second one, it is complex to calculate. As we did now, it is complex to calculate as compared to fixed base index number. It is easier to calculate and understand. Right? And the third difference would be that chain based index number fully utilizes the information. It fully utilizes the information about the prices and quantities P and Q. It it doesn't fully utilizes, it utilizes in small amount the info in it utilizes the information but not completely, we can say. And there is one more disadvantage of chain index number. Since we have been calculated, this is a complex process, so there is a higher possibility of error in chain base index number as compared to fixed base index number. So we can also write that this have more cumulative errors as compared to fixed base index number. So I hope that whatever we have done today in class has been clear with all of you. In the next lecture, we'll discuss one or two more question on chain based from PYQ as well, and one more formula for fixed base to. Today we have done from fixed base to chain base. Then the next formula we have to do is from chain base to fixed base. So till then you can practice on this concept, and we'll move forward with the another concept, practicing on it and doing the PYQs. And I hope that you have been doing and covering the syllabus simultaneously of all the subjects, and if not, then you should start now, because very small time is left and we have to cover a lot of syllabus. And for those who have started preparing just now, I would suggest you all to prepare for 2027 instead of 26. That would be uh, that would that would be the best strategy to follow. And if you face any doubt, you can ask in the comment section or on our WhatsApp channel. Only relevant doubts will be answered. So all the best and keep on learning. Thank you.